So, just how many teams are involved in this season's relegation struggle? I fancy half the Premier League still trying to avoid a long look at the league table. Only 5 points separate the bottom 8. Just 2 points separate the first 6 of those. OK, Aston Villa and Crystal Palace have managed to separate themselves a little from that last 8, almost in mid-table, but Palace have lost 4 of the last 5. And after losing to League 2 opposition here on Sunday, I don't suppose for one moment that Unai Emery thinks Villa are bulletproof. Jesse Marsch has been playing the survival game ever since he arrived at Leeds last February, and he's in good company this season, approaching the halfway point in this strange and crowded season, and nobody in the bottom half looks too good to go down. Everton, Southampton, Forest, Leicester, Wolves, West Ham, all to come tomorrow. 6-pointers galore. It's going to be like that every weekend. Sure, the bottom half will surprise us, and maybe themselves by sitting a result or two off the rich list clubs up at the top, but the key to eating the stresses and strains of life around the trapdoor is beating your fellow sufferers, winning your league within the league. And Dean Ashton was probably far too good a player to ever play in a relegation scrap, but I imagine they have an atmosphere all of their own. You know when you're in one, yeah?
Just a bit, yeah. You can't forget about it. You can't wake up without thinking about it, and you don't want to be anywhere near it. So that's, for these two sides, it's so important to pick up the points as early as possible and avoid having that dreaded feeling in the pit of your stomach when you get towards the end of the season.
Aston Villa and Leeds United are 2 of 6 clubs in the bottom half that have changed their manager in the last 12 months. That's more than half, by the way. That's how it works. 2 fairly combustible characters sharing a touchline. Tonight, for the 3rd time, their paths crossed in the Europa League 2 years ago when Jesse Marsch's Salzburg beat Unai Emery's Villarreal. Their main priorities now are to ensure that they're meeting in the Premier League again next season. With that kind of job turnover, nobody can be certain of that. Leeds United are wearing a change kit, not sure why, of pale yellow shirts, I think the navy blue shorts and navy blue socks. They will defend the Holt end of Villa Park in this first half, playing from right to left, as Dean and I watch on from our commentary position in the main stand here. Michael Oliver blows the first whistle of the night. 2 teams looking for that Friday feeling. It's nearly 10 weeks since Aston Villa have won here. Nearly 10 weeks since Leeds United have won anywhere. The Premier League table will look very different in 48 hours' time. 2 clubs looking up, but still glancing nervously over their shoulders. And they are not alone in that this season. Villa have a throw-in about 20 metres from their corner flag on their left-hand side, which Luca Dean takes down the touchline. One in the air by Robin Koch. Spread square and very impressively by Ramsey into the path of Young. Down the right-hand side towards Bailey. Mistake by Strout, which Bailey pounces upon, but Tyler Adams is across with a covering challenge for Leeds United and plays it forward to Rodrigo. Now Aronson just inside his own half of the field. Adams takes over, gets Harrison on his way down the left-hand touchline. Mings responds well with a sliding challenge. Leeds United have a throw-in 20 metres from the corner flag. They're attacking left-hand side.
What I absolutely love about Leeds is they will test you. As a professional, as an elite player, they'll test your touch, your awareness, just because of that unbelievable energy that they've got.
Strout will take the throw-in. Short to Aronson, crossing position for Strout, but he's under pressure from Douglas Luiz. He manages to play the ball against his shins. It runs rather tamely, but dangerously behind for the first corner kick of the evening, which is on the Leeds United left-hand side. Aston Villa versus Leeds is live and exclusive here on Talksport. An 8 o'clock kick-off to kick off the weekend's action, which continues with the Manchester Derby live and exclusive tomorrow lunchtime on Talksport. Harrison will take the corner from the left-hand side. Oh, and a free run at it for Rocker, and he didn't really capitalise. Ashley Young is able to clear his lines, do more than that. He finds Ramsey with a fantastic pass. It's Camera now galloping forward, and he has options just outside the penalty area. Leon Bailey onto his favourite left foot. 1-0 Aston Villa. Fabulous finish by Bailey. Curled it with his left foot. Less than 2.5 minutes play. And lift off for Aston Villa. Wonderful counter-attack led by Camera and finished off stylishly, explosively by Leon Bailey at the Holte end. Aston Villa could not have made a better start.
I'm sorry, but that sums up Leeds' naivety of giving away goals this season. I mean, just one ball out from the attacking corner that Leeds had. It was a great ball, I have to say, from Young all the way to Ramsey, and he was able to drive to within 10 or 15 yards of the 18-yard line. He passes it to Leon Bailey on the right-hand side, and you would have had to have been in a bunker for the last year not to know all he wants to do is shift it on his left foot and curl it in the far corner. Well, Leeds just allow him to do that. He checks inside, but what a finish. We've got a beautiful view. We're right behind it, and he curled it beautifully into that far top corner.
He left this stadium in tears last week. He missed a glaring chance to score a winner late in the last league game against Wolverhampton Wanderers. He'll be feeling an awful lot better about life right now. It's his first goal since Unai Emery's first game in charge against Manchester United a couple of months ago. Leon Bailey is the Aston Villa goal scorer, and it came from a Leeds United corner. They just got caught hopelessly out on the counter-attack. Young's pass, which looked just like a clearance to begin with, but he picked out Camera on a galloping run. He found Bailey in space, and Bailey was allowed to turn inside onto his favourite left foot. And even though it was a spectacular finish, it was pretty routine for him once he was allowed to get onto his left foot.
Yeah, I mean, he made a decision early, which he's always going to do. His first option will always be, well, I want to get onto my favoured left foot. So you have to just say, well, do you know what? Go on your right, and I'll fancy my goalkeeper against your right foot. Instead, you allow him onto that left, and then you have to say it was a wonderful finish. Meslier with absolutely no chance. But he could probably do that in his sleep, Leon Bailey. That's probably his favourite finish to make.
Leeds United, though, hounding Villa in possession on the attack with Aronson. Showed too much of it to Douglas Luiz. There was an opening there because Aston Villa gave up possession in a very dangerous area. Harrison won it well for Leeds United, and Brendan Harrison didn't make the most of that. There is a stoppage because we have an injury. I think Luca Dean is forward, is down on the left-hand side. I'll run through the two starting 11s because there are a couple of little tweaks which we didn't altogether expect. Aronson is playing in a more central position than I'd anticipated, and so is Emi Buendia. So just one change from the last Premier League lineups for both teams. Matty Cash is missing for Villa tonight through injury. They've got Martinez in goal. Back four is Young, Concert, Mings and Dean. And then they've got Bailey playing from the right-hand side. They've got Ramsey playing from the left with Camera and Douglas Luiz at the centre of the midfield. And then it's Emi Buendia who's pushed forward to play just off Ollie Watkins' shoulder. Leeds United, for their part, without Crescencio Somerville through injury. I've got Jack Harrison back in their starting 11 this evening. They've got Meslier in goal. Back four is Ayling, Koch, Cooper and Strauch. Rocker and Adams are the sitters in midfield. And then Harrison has started on the right-hand side, Nonto on the left, with Brendan Aronson playing in the number 10 role just behind Rodrigo. There's a little bit of concern here about Luca Dean because he's been down for a while. Interestingly enough, the obvious replacement will be Aston Villa's new boy, Alex Moreno, who is warming up on the near side.
Yeah, he's holding his shoulder. He looked in a lot of discomfort, Luca Dean, and you can see the physio's just working on him over that far side.
Aston Villa did score first against Stevenage here last Sunday, but went out of the FA Cup. They have, though, gone on to win the last four Premier League matches in which they've taken the lead. Leeds United are involved in a series of bonkers games, it seems, over the course of the last year. They've recovered 8 points from losing positions already this season. They came from 2-0 down to earn the replay with Cardiff last Sunday. But Jesse Marsch called on his team to make a fast start tonight. They've been in these difficult situations before, and he was looking for a more confident, more aggressive opening from his team tonight. He said as much in his media briefing yesterday. No Premier League team has run more or made more tackles in away games so far this season. But having started on the front foot by forcing a corner, and I have to say Mark Rocker had a look at goal when that corner came across, but once it was cleared, they were left short in defence, and then they didn't react well to Aston Villa's raid down their left flank by allowing Bailey to cut inside and curl in that goal with his left foot. Dean is still down, play is still stopped, he's still in a prostrate position. Michael Oliver, the referee, is now leaning over him and looking slightly concerned himself. And another member of the Villa medical staff has gone across there. I haven't seen a stretcher as yet, which is what you might expect in the circumstances. In actual fact, Dean is now sitting up, and he's just going to be hoisted to his feet. And this is a little bit more encouraging for Aston Villa fans. Dean, who arrived at the club a year ago to the day, they've signed 2 more left backs since then. Nothing like coming under a bit of pressure. Unai Emery actually let him go when he arrived at Paris Saint-Germain back in 2016. But he has been the first choice left back for the last year, but he's not going to be able to continue. And Aston Villa fans are going to get an instant look at Alex Moreno. He's been playing left back in a back four for Manuel Pellegrini at Real Betis, who are going well in Spain. They're 4th in La Liga. He's 29 years of age, but has had only 3 full seasons in top flight football in Spain with Rayo Vallecano and Real Betis. So his pedigree is limited, you have to say, but he's up to speed. He played last Sunday for Betis. He arrived in Birmingham on Wednesday, and he's straight into the action here because Dean can't continue and Moreno is on at left back. Is that the way you prefer it as a new signing, to get straight out there?
Absolutely, yeah. I think he would have felt, obviously, that he would have had to wait for his opportunity, but that is football, and he's just going to now take that. I think that's what you want, you know. No time to think, straight in, and it's just now, can he find a little rapport with Mings? I'm sure Mings, at every game I've been, you can always hear Tyrone Mings with that big, deep, booming voice of his. I'm sure he'll be speaking and communicating plenty with him.
10.5 minutes played at Villa Park. Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. Ball is in the possession of Esri Konsa on the halfway line for the home team. Aronson in with a crashing challenge, which is penalised. Villa have a free kick just inside Leeds territory. It looks a fairly diminutive figure, Moreno. He's got the long sleeves on. We're going to have to get used to our climate. He's played all his football in Spain. He was originally on Barcelona's books as a youngster. He is a Catalan. Difficult pass for Konsa, which Bailey just managed to keep in. Camera keeps it alive for Mings, and here is Moreno getting his first touch. Plays it square and easily into the path of Camera. Flick forward and rather loosely off the heel of Cooper, but Meslier reacts quickly and hoops the ball down the field. But Leeds United made a rather uncertain start here. They trailed to Leon Bailey's goal. Moreno quickly caught in possession by Harrison. Leeds are on the ball with Luke Haley midway through the Villa half. Forward by Adams under some pressure from Douglas Luiz, and under that pressure he's unable to control the forward ball, and it rolls tamely through for a goal kick. He's not going to get as much time as he gets in La Liga, is he?
No, definitely not, especially against this Leeds side. And again, that just one pass right through the middle of that Leeds midfield, and they were almost in with Watkins trying to get onto the end of a Buendia pass, and that just can't really happen, that you can be cut right through the middle of your side.
These two played out a goalless draw at Ellen Road in early October. Villa's only goalless draw so far this season. I fancied we'd get a few fun and games tonight. I know it's never wise for commentators to promise goals, but a Leeds match is rarely a dull match, and already inside 2.5 minutes we had a goal against them for Aston Villa. This is their 21st game of the season, Leeds United, and that's the 66th goal that's been scored in those games. And maybe the best fact I unearthed about those 20 games that Leeds have played this season, both teams have led in 6 of them. You get topsy-turvy matches with Leeds United. You never quite know when it's over with Leeds, and they've come from behind plenty of times. Poor pass from Douglas Luiz, played under pressure from Brendan Aronson. Out of play for a Leeds United throw-in midway through the Villa half on the Leeds left. Strout takes it. Aronson tried to get in behind Young down by the corner flag. Young makes a challenge. It actually clipped Aronson. It should be an Aston Villa throw-in, but Michael Oliver has given it to Leeds. We had a particularly good view of that. Our commentary position here is almost level with the edge of the 18-yard box that Leeds are attacking. Nonto on the ball, tight in the corner. This time Leeds do earn a throw-in, which Strack will take. Aronson under pressure from Douglas Leeds, tries to play it back to him. Bailey clear, up towards Watkins. Sharp challenge though by Koch. Force for Tyler Adams. Harrison trying to make some progress. Camera slides him the challenge. It's very combative from the outset here. Aronson just outside the Villa penalty area. Plays it wide to Wilfred Nonto. Now running at Douglas Luiz just outside the penalty area. Back to Mark Rocker. Now Pascal Strout trying to feed it into Nonto just outside the penalty area. Sharp ball back to Rocker inside the box. Hits it. I think it struck the arm of Konsa, but it was tucked in alongside his body. No real question of a handball appeal from Leeds United, but they remain on the attack. Dean Ashton.
Yeah, it was nice. First time passing from Leeds in the Aston Villa penalty area. Konsa, absolutely no chance. It was a handball. He had his arms crossed across his chest.
14.5 minutes gone. Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. Nonto in a tight position with Aronson trying to exchange short passes, but it's broken up by Ashley Young. Bailey brings it away for Aston Villa, but he can't get very far down the field. Leeds see to that. They're so hungry without the ball. Koch leaning over Watkins to try to get to the ball, and the referee penalises Robin Koch. He felt that Watkins was backing into him, but it is a free kick for Aston Villa just inside the Leeds half of the field. Unai Emery in a black puffer jacket. Jesse Marsh, arms folded about 10 metres away from him on the edge of the technical area, wearing training shoes, and both of them very animated, gesticulating towards the referee as Villa take this free kick short. Young to camera, back to Konsa inside his own half. 1-0 Villa lead. Mings on the ball in orange boots. Out to the new boy Moreno on the halfway line. Plays it forward where Ramsey is toppled by Luke Ayling. Leeds United just are contesting every single loose ball, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean the intensity, and to be fair to Aston Villa, they've pretty much matched that of Leeds United, and it's just meant that your touch has to be perfect. If it's not, you'll either be tackled, or a couple of times we've seen players just play it out of players. Martinez just casually.
His touch was far from perfect there. He almost allowed the ball, just a ball dribble back to him to roll under his foot and towards his own goal. But buoyed by the confidence that comes from being a world champion, he didn't look perplexed at all. He just very casually controlled the ball the second time of asking and cleared his lines. But Leeds will remain on the attack. Little flick from Rodrigo, can't quite get Harrison in, but it comes out as far as Cooper. Short to Adams in the tight spaces in midfield. He has to go all the way back to Meslier just outside his penalty area. Long diagonal for Meslier, squirted out to the Leeds right, where Ayling chests it down halfway line. Played back to Koch. 10 metres inside his own half. Now Harrison raiding down that right-hand side. Right to challenge from Ramsey. Goes past Moreno as if he's not there. Crossed into Rodrigo. Clever turn, and it's jabbed behind by Douglas Luiz. Rodrigo had a chance there. Seemed to have done the difficult bit, but just lost control.
Yeah, Moreno completely committed himself on that left-hand side. Harrison just jinked past him. Great ball into Rodrigo. It needed 2 touches. He ended up taking 4. And in the end, Konsa was able to come across.
Corner kick though to Leeds United in front of their travelling fans on their right hand side. Left-footed Jack Harrison will take it. Swung into the near post where it's headed pretty comfortably clear downfield by Alex Moreno. And he's now played a forward ball into the path of Leon Bailey on the counter-attack again, Aston Villa. Bailey, their goal scorer. Midway through the Leeds United half of the field. Steps in field and goes back to Moreno. Controls it well and finds Camera. First impressions of Moreno, better with the ball than he is without it. Here's Young. Manages to dig the ball past Nonto. Come back to Camera. Square to Luiz. This is 10 metres inside the Leeds United half of the field. Konsa rolls it into the path of Tyrone Mings. Familiar partnership for the last 3 years. Again, Moreno wanted a bit more time than he had, and Ayling was in with a sharp challenge. But he looks tidy in possession, Moreno.
Oh, he does. I mean, he is filling his lungs, by the way, with air, having come off the bench. And obviously just a quick warm-up, which was barely even one. He's come on, and he's certainly feeling it. But you're right, very, very comfortable in possession, but completely committed himself over on that far side.
Yeah, Jack Harrison skinned him a couple of minutes ago and played the ball dangerously into Rodrigo, who's in high goal-scoring form, 7 goals in his last 8 appearances, but he wasn't able to pounce on his first chance of the evening, and Aston Villa still lead by 1-0. We're live and exclusive on Talksport with Now Sports. With Now Sports, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including this game, live tonight for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. Nonto coming forward for Leeds, just outside the Villa penalty area. Again crowded out, with Bailey helping out Ashley Young and getting a round of applause from Young for his efforts. But it's a throw in to Leeds, 10 metres from the corner flag. They're attacking. Strout takes it. Nonto's touch is poor, and now Aston Villa will have the throw in the same area of the field.
Well, Nonto has been provided the ball 3 or 4 times now on this left-hand side, and he just slows everything up. I'd love him to just do things a little bit quicker, either look for Rodrigo or Aronson a bit quicker. He's slowed things so much that it allows Aston Villa just to get back into a nice shape, the midfielders to get into position, and then it's more difficult.
On the ball is Konsa, high and long down the field. Melia's right on the edge of his territory. Watkins pursued the ball but was beaten to it by Cockis. Hooked forward by Harrison, dangerously for Nonto to chase. Young has got to deal with it. Goes back to Martinez. Got to the pitch of the ball there, scooped to high clearance down the field. Rocker got his head to the ball. Strout to Nonto. He's having a right old battle with Ashley Young on this near side, and he's back on the ball now, trying to step away from Young, and he just caught a challenge there, which was a legal free kick. Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. The latest odds are available from Ladbrokes, the official sponsors of Talksport's game day coverage, where right now you can get Aston Villa at 2-5, Leeds United 6-1, and the draw at 13-4. Those odds from Ladbrokes. Play at ladbrokes.com. You must be 18 or over, and do be aware of begambleaware.org. Leeds United trail Aston Villa by 1-0. They have a free kick 20 metres inside the Villa half. It's taken short by Nonto to Aronson, and now back to Nonto again, bursting in the edge of the penalty area. Couldn't quite fit it through to Rodrigo, but Nonto was taken late there by Douglas Luiz, and a free kick has been given to Leeds United about 6 paces outside the penalty area. Ollie Watkins has gone down as if he needs some treatment. Nonto's just been carried to his feet. Very, very high line Villa had for that free kick.
And that's why I thought it was a good idea for Leeds to play that short. Rather than catch yourselves offside, I like to do something a little bit different with those difficult angles for free kicks when you're a bit deeper and narrow. And in the end, referee Michael Oliver, I thought, was excellent. Just waited. He saw the challenge from Nonto. It was then intercepted and then brought it back. Watkins looked as if he just jarred his knee or his ankle before when he went for a challenge with Robin Koch.
One of the Premier League's 2 World Cup referees, Michael Oliver, in charge this evening. The position is perfect for a right footer. because it's just left of centre. It is no more than 6 paces outside of the penalty area. The 5-man Leeds wall is formed way back. Leeds have got a 3-man wall of their own behind that and to the side, just trying to mask Martinez's view. Harrison plays it in very cleverly, and a little flick on by Rodrigo, and Harrison knocks it goalwards. Leeds are unhappy with the way Martinez came rushing out and caught Rodrigo. It was an ingenious little free kick, slipped into Rodrigo, ball ran loose, Martinez came out, he's gone down injured, and Michael Oliver surrounded by Leeds players who want some reward from this situation.
I think they feel as if Rodrigo was pulled by Douglas Luiz, and I don't think there's anything there. I think Rodrigo slips. It's a poor touch from Rodrigo. Maybe Leeds had seen in the World Cup that when Martinez was in goal, that Wout Weghorst free kick, that was exactly the same. They just played it in towards Rodrigo. Poor touch. I think he slips. Bravery from Martinez, as so often the goalkeepers do, diving at the feet of the attacker.
He's had one game in the 26 days since the World Cup final and made a couple of good saves here against Wolverhampton Wanderers 9 days ago. Unai Emery has welcomed back the Argentine keeper with a message that he needs to control his emotions more. Good luck with that. He is 30 now. It's his establishing himself already as one of the Premier League's in-form goalkeepers, even before his heroics in the quarter-final and final penalty shootouts in Qatar. But he's well, shall we say, a personality, a man who knows his own mind. But his courage wasn't in any doubt there when he came out, and Leeds United's clever free kick came to nothing. The free kick actually went Aston Villa's way in the end. Both of the injured players are back on their feet. It's 1-0 to Aston Villa, and they have a throw-in 10 metres inside their own half, taken by Moreno down the touchline. Leeds United have won it back quickly, and not for the first time. Rocker is on the ball inside the centre circle. Reverse ball seeking out Harrison. He contests it well. Mings has to clear his lines. Adams wins it in the air. Down goes Ayling, caught by Moreno as the ball flipped up in the air. Ayling tried to help it on. Moreno's foot was a little high there, and Leeds United have another free kick about 15 metres outside the penalty area.
Oh, it's been a fantastic 24 and a half minutes. Honestly, the tempo of the game. Michael Oliver's been brilliant in the way that he's let things go as much as he can. But obviously both teams just flying in to close each other down. They're going to give free kicks away. And it's just made for a really entertaining start to this game.
We've had 25 minutes. We had a goal inside 3 minutes. It was scored by Leon Bailey of Aston Villa, and that's the way it is. Live on Talksport. Aston Villa 1, Leeds 0. Free kick in a dangerous position for Leeds. Harrison into the box, but it just curls beyond Liam Cooper and rolls out for a goal kick. And this is the conundrum that is Leeds United, best illustrated by the fact that while no Premier League club has a worse away record this season, they have won at Liverpool, they've drawn at Newcastle in the last couple of months or so, they scored 3 times at Tottenham, and yet they've taken just 5 points out of 24 on their travels. But it's certainly not for the want of trying, certainly not for the want of a travelling support. They always take up their allocation, and they're right in this game, even though they trailed since the 3rd minute. Moreno on the ball for Aston Villa, and he's caught a little late by Rodrigo that time, but the referee waits play on because Villa have it. Buendia out to Bailey, raiding down the right hand side, running at Strauch just outside the Leeds penalty area. Bailey onto his right foot, dig to the far post, and that's easy enough for Ilhan Melia. And that's the difference between Leon Bailey on his right or left foot, because that was just a spoon cross.
Yeah, absolutely right. And you just think, why would you let him onto that lovely left foot of his? But that's what Aston Villa want. They want to play out and take a risk, drawing Leeds United onto them, because they know they will go full throttle. If you can get beyond that press, it just opens everything up for your attackers, and it has done a couple of times for Aston Villa. But you are taking that risk, playing inside almost your own 6-yard line with the pressure that Leeds will put on you.
Alex Moreno coming forward for Aston Villa. You just joining us on Talksport this evening. Moreno came on as an early substitute for Luca Dean, making his Aston Villa debut a little earlier than he might have anticipated. Forward by Young. Bailey's got in behind Leeds, inside the penalty area, across the face of goal. Watkins was on and he couldn't deliver the scoring cross there, Bailey. Huge disappointment inside Villa Park because Leeds were undone again there.
That's something they've worked on. Ashley Young, he didn't even look, he just played it over the top of Strauch, and Leon Bailey had already made that run as if it was something they'd seen, maybe a weakness within Leeds, because Cooper had gone nice and tight into Buendia, who'd gone deep, and there was that space over the top.
Nonto has just intercepted a very loose pass from Camera, but he couldn't quite control it and explode forward. Yeah, Pascal Strauch has been Leeds United's left back all season. We haven't seen Stuart Dallas yet this season. He's getting fit. They've just signed Max Verber from Salzburg, who can certainly play as a left back. He had a rather rough ride playing at centre back at Cardiff last weekend in the FA Cup. Pascal Strauch, he was mainly a centre back last season. I don't think left back is his favoured position, and it's as if Aston Villa know that, and they're trying to get Bailey in behind him. And they've already profited through Bailey's early goal, which separates the two teams. Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. Live here on Talksport with 28 minutes of the first half played, and a throw in to Leeds United on the halfway line, which Luke Ayling will take. Exchanges passes with Tyler Adams, goes back to Robin Koch. He fires it forward down the right hand side towards Harrison. Tried to steer it infield to Aronson, but Douglas Luiz came between them, and Mings rolls it back to Emi Martinez again. Conser now for Aston Villa. The new manager bounces bounced Villa out of the nether regions of the table. 10 points from Unai Emery's 5 games in charge. An excellent return so far, and they gave Liverpool a game here in defeat on Boxing Day 2. Wasted a fabulous chance to beat Wolves in their last league game, and ahead here tonight. Ayling coming forward, Moreno trying to deal with it down by his own corner flag on the left hand side, under pressure from Ayling, and it's gone out of play for a Leeds United throw in. You have to say that Steven Gerrard's arrival gave Aston Villa a similar lift last season, but then they lost momentum from the turn of the year and never quite recovered it. They've got a problem at the moment with Ollie Watkins, not for the first time this evening. He's gone down looking as if he requires some treatment, and the suspicion is that he's not going to be able to continue this time, and that Danny Ings is going to be readied. He's tried Ollie Watkins, but he knows he can't continue, I don't think. Not quite sure if it's ankle or knee, possibly ankle. I think sometimes when I saw what happened as he's gone to jump, I think sometimes as you go to stand and jump, you can sometimes just slightly tread on the defender's foot and roll your ankle as you make that jump. That's kind of what it looked like for Ollie Watkins. He's tried to run it off. He's clearly in some discomfort, and Danny Ings, I'm sure, will be the replacement. Second enforced substitution of the evening. Aston Villa already without Matty Cash and John McGinn through injury, not to mention Diego Carlos. Leander Dendoncker is missing tonight through suspension, so this is a test of their squad now. Moreno, a natural replacement for Dean at left back, and Danny Ings, who's in form but has started only one of Unai Emery's 6 Premier League games, scored a couple of goals in that game at Brighton. He's got a very cool equaliser against Wolves as a substitute, and then set up that Bailey chance which could have won that game last week. Danny Ings, who has been linked with a move away from Villa this month. Everton, West Ham United, Crystal Palace have all been mentioned in dispatches, and if he is in the shop window, then he's got an opportunity here for the best part of an hour to show what he can do again. But Leeds are on the attack as play restarts. Ayling into the penalty area, cut out well by Camera, one back by Adams, as an offside flag up, and Aston Villa will get a bit of relief here with a free kick and a stoppage in play. Off goes Watkins down the tunnel in front of us. On comes Danny Ings. Good pro and an excellent finisher.
a real lethal finisher. Danny Ings brings definitely different to Watkins. Watkins gives you that real threat in behind, that constant work rate and hold up play, whereas Ings has got a bit more sort of sneakiness about his runs. I think defenders think they've got him and he's just nips in behind you or down the side of you, and I think Aston Villa have to build that up rather than hitting him first time.
Streetwise striker, 30 years of age now, Danny Ings, but he's been involved in all but one game this season, still durable and still very effective. Aston Villa's leading scorer this season, but he's on from the bench. Moreno heads the ball down the Aston Villa left. 1-0 they lead Leeds United. Very late there, Koch on Ramsey. Rather cynical challenge by Robin Koch. First yellow card of the evening is shown to Leeds United German international central defender Robin Koch.
That is Leeds at the moment. It happened a moment ago when Cooper came steaming out towards Buendia and the ball just got played over his head. Robin Koch has come out of his centre-back position to go to Ramsey, who's a midfield player, and try and stop him, and then takes him out on the halfway line. It's just a ridiculous yellow card, and no need for him to really leave that centre-back position.
And Jesse Marsch made the point that he wanted them to be front foot, he wanted them to be aggressive. Maybe sometimes you can get a little bit too fired up, a little bit too wired up. And they are playing with great intensity. They're certainly hounding Villa in possession the very moment they get possession. But it has brought a few reckless challenges, and there's the first one of the evening, which has been rewarded with a yellow card from Michael Oliver. Koch has got the best part of an hour to survive without making a similar challenge.
But also, I think that's fine, and Jesse Marsch, that's the way he wants his teams to play. But sometimes as a pro, you've got to think, well, yes, I can do it sometimes, but recognise when not to do it. And at the moment, they've taken everything literal with Jesse, but they're just going out, steaming out of position and leaving either a hole, or they're making a decision that I don't think he needs to make.
Their disciplinary record wasn't the best. I think it might have just been the worst in the Premier League last season. Combination of Messrs Bielsa and Marsch. On the ball is Liam Cooper. Forward to Rocker. Edge of the centre circle. Hook down the left-hand side. Nonto hasn't really got the better of Young yet, but he's running at him again. Fed into Aronson just inside the penalty area. Forced wide by Boubacar Kamara. Played back to Nonto. Took him a moment to get it under control and has to go back to Rocker midway through the Villa half. Good ball on by Struijk, and now Nonto can run at Young. Instead plays in Aronson across the face of goal, and a good recovery by Jacob Ramsey, who belts it behind the goal at the expense of a corner kick. But a good incisive attack that from Leeds.
And better from Nonto, doing things early, one touch and then in behind for Aronson, who made a clever run out of that number 10 position, in behind the centre-back, but just didn't look up, just didn't get his head up and think, well, where is the runner, my teammate? He just put it into an area, not a bad area, but can you pick someone out instead?
Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0, 10 minutes of the first half remaining, live on Talksport. Jack Harrison will take a corner for Leeds United from the left-hand side. Throws it in towards the heads. Stooping header away is by Buendia. Adams is first to the loose ball, but he can't guide the ball back to Nonto, and instead Aston Villa have a throw in 20 metres inside their own half of the field on their right-hand side, which forever young Ashley Young will take. He started the last 4 Premier League games now at right back, 37 years of age. It is the final year of his contract, but it's difficult to believe that Unai Emery won't want him around the place for another year. He's one of those old school pros who sets the standards for the younger ones, but can still perform at the highest level. Young takes the throw to Ings. He tries to play it across the field. It's a poor one to Ayling. Forward towards Rodrigo. Couldn't quite control it, but Nonto has got it. And now Rodrigo's on the edge of the penalty area. Tried to play it across the face of goal. Konsa charged it down, and Leeds United have another corner kick. Left-hand side. Pressure.
Again, just that constant pressure on you. You switch off, you slip, they're on you, Leeds. And again, Rodrigo, he looked like it was a shot, hoping it would then be maybe parried for a teammate, rather than again picking somebody out.
It's not the Bielsa man-to-man, but there's a similar hunger about Leeds United under Jesse Marsch. Harrison takes the corner, right to the 6-yard box, glanced away by Mings. Rocker tries to keep it alive. Header, though, is a good one by Ramsey. Bailey and Young try to combine. Bailey goes to ground, looks inquiringly at Michael Oliver. Nothing doing. Rocker takes a throw in quickly. Nonto. Forward comes Harrison into the dead ball line. Young is there again with a well-timed challenge for Villa. Out it goes, but Leeds have another throw in an attacking position. 1-0 Villa lead. We've got 7 minutes of the first half remaining. Live on Talksport. Strack will take the throw in for Leeds United. It's a poor one towards Nonto. Bailey comes between them. When Deere tries to control it, he's upended by Strout. And that is a free kick to Aston Villa. A little bit of respite from the hurricane that Leeds United whip up every time you play against them.
Yeah, they have got a bit of an obsession, especially on this left-hand side, Leeds, to just play everything really, really short and tight and compact in this area, rather than opening things up. But when they did it quicker, when Nonto just got out of his feet and played it to Aronson, that's when they look a bit better.
They have got another addition to their squad on the way in. Jorginho Rutter, I think it is. I think that's how it's pronounced. He's French. Rutter, 20-year-old flyer, who's on his way from Hoffenheim, a forward, Parisian, French under-21 international. Not a prolific scorer, 8 goals last season, just 2 so far this season, said to be an initial £25 million deal. Only his second season as a Bundesliga regular, but Jorginho Rutter is on his way from Hoffenheim to Leeds United. I think he might just be in the crowd here tonight. He's watching his new club trail Aston Villa to an early goal by Leon Bailey, but they've been on the attack for the last 10 minutes or so, Leeds. Nonto unable to get the better of Young again, who's having a fantastic game. Aronson trying to shield it from Douglas Luiz. Oh, it's wonderful skirmish football. Every loose ball being contested as if the last kick of the game. Forward by camera towards Bailey, and it rolls out of play. Harum scarum, typical English Premier League football.
Oh, it was brilliant, and fair play to Michael Oliver. He just let it go. He just says, go on, lads, go at each other fairly and squarely, which is exactly what they did. There wasn't a bad challenge in there. They just, both teams wanted to win the ball.
And on a perfect surface in mid-January, which wasn't the way when you played, you'd be 6 inches of mud, wouldn't you, most of the time by the time mid-January came along. But both teams can pass the ball. You know, both teams have got skillful players with the licence to take men on, but when the ball gets loose in midfield, neither team holds back on the challenges. Douglas Luiz didn't hold back on that one. He was late on Strout. Leeds are unhappy about it. Referee Michael Oliver's having a good long think, but he's decided again, showing a card to Douglas Luiz. Clear free kick.
And again, both teams are playing on the edge because of that tempo, because of the aggression of both sides. It's difficult to stop yourself almost when you're in that mode.
Leon Bailey's 3rd minute goal is the difference. It's Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0 on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Free kick to Leeds United, who've been on the attack for most of the last 15 minutes or so. Taken short by Aronson. Tyler Adams guides it high towards Luke Ayling, who heads it down into the penalty area. Mings has to deal with it under pressure from Rodrigo, and deals with it very well. He's able to turn and thump the ball down the field. Liam Cooper all alone retrieves it. Plays it to Rocker. High forward down the right-hand side. Asks far too much of Brendan Aronson, and that will roll out of play for an Aston Villa goal kick. But Leeds United have had the better of things, really, in the last 15-20 minutes.
Oh, they have, yeah. For most of the half, actually, they've forced Leeds back. And because they're playing out from the back, they're almost inviting that pressure. And it is a who can get the better of who. Can we play through you? And can you win it back against us and create anything? I would say, actually, both goalkeepers haven't really been that busy, considering how much play there's been between the two sides. It's just been a real battle to enjoy.
I think it's been difficult to find the quality of final pass or final cross because of that intensity that we keep talking about. And the one time that intensity dropped, way back in the 3rd minute, and Bailey was allowed to turn inside, he scored. Ings coming forward to the edge of the penalty area. Bailey takes over again, just tries to finesse the ball in towards Buendia, but is Ball was short and Leeds United cleared their lines, and here they come again with Rocafort to Gnonto. He was caught late there by Young. Advantage played by the referee. Harrison slipped into Rodrigo. Real chance, tried to take it round Martinez. Rodrigo cleared off the line. Fantastic recovery by the new man, Alex Moreno. Saved a certain goal there because Martinez was beaten, Rodrigo was in, and Moreno got back.
Wasn't it brilliant from Alex Moreno? He didn't give that up at all. He knew, head down, arms pumping, knew he had to get back on the line. But Rodrigo, it's such a clever run to start with. Just arcs it enough, keeps himself onside, takes it round Martinez. But he's got to realise that there's a defender there. He's got to absolutely smash that. Mark Hughes-esque against Barcelona many years ago. You've got to thrash that in.
Funny enough, he tried to clear it with his left foot and it went past that and hit his right knee. But he got his body there, got his body on the line. And Alex Moreno has made a big impact on this match already. His first for Aston Villa. Leeds United were very unhappy about a challenge on Wilfred Gnonto at the start of all that. It was a good advantage played by Michael Oliver, but no yellow card. Harrison seemed to be tugged back there by Douglas Luiz. Again, no foul. Away by Buendia. Again, Leeds keep the heat on. Ayling, 15 metres outside the penalty area. Within a goal line clearance of an equaliser, Leeds United. Still trailing to Leon Bailey's early goal. Cooper on the ball for Leeds. Played forward to Gnonto again. Young had another nibble at him there. Gnonto retained possession, but eventually it ran away from him and out of play for a throw-in to Aston Villa. Well, I mean, I think the referee's been pretty even-handed. He's giving it a go for either side. But the complaints on the touchline are understandable over each individual foul. But I think the general tone and tenor of the game is good.
I don't feel like I've seen a particularly bad challenge, to be honest. But there's just barely been.
They're at it again, by the way, on the halfway line. Ball running loose. It's like a long, old-fashioned drop ball with 4 or 5 players. You can almost throw a handkerchief over them, contesting the loose ball, throwing their feet at it again, but keeping the feet low, trying to win the ball. Jesse Marsh is not enjoying this, shouting away at Michael Oliver. He thinks Leeds are getting the raw end of this. He thinks they're getting the raw end of things from the referees. Generally, I have to say, I did have a long chat with him last weekend, and that would probably be his one gripe about the English game at the moment. He doesn't feel as if his skilled players are getting the right protection. Welcome to the Premier League. It's what it's like.
I think it's a bit rich, to be honest, watching his side.
They do put the foot in themselves. Another challenge there on Gnonto. Got the ball this time. Brought forward by Rocker. Aronson stayed onside. Cuts inside, just in from the touchline. Clever ball to Tyler Adams. Just floats it out to Luke Ayling. Crossface, a goal. Harrison, brilliant save by Martinez. And Gnonto knocks it over. That's an astonishing save by Emi Martinez. Jack Harrison had to score. I don't think he did a great deal wrong. Volleyed it goalwards, and Martinez kept it out. Amazing.
It's just astonishing, isn't it, sometimes, how quickly goalkeepers get from their near post across to that far post. They work on it day in, day out, that footwork. He just stutters to his right-hand side and dives, as Harrison, I think, does well with his studs to just keep it down. But there is Martinez, all in orange, arms are spread.
Corner to Leeds, towards the near post, headed away by Ashley Young. A world-class save by a world champion goalkeeper. I think it hit him on the chest, but who cares when you're a goalkeeper? He threw his body across, spread himself, and got something in the way. Gnonto with the cross, down by Rodrigo. Aronson shot is blocked. Rodrigo 1-1. It's been coming. No. Flag's up. Late flag. I mean, Aronson was denied a goal there, which I think would have been a bona fide goal by a good block. And Gnonto on his knees, getting up from the original attack into the box.
I think
in the net.
I think Rodrigo might be offside from that initial cross. I think he just goes a fraction early, or maybe he doesn't. I mean, it's so tight. It's a great chest down from Rodrigo, though, and then the cleverness when he was on the floor just to tap it in.
But it's the original ball into the box which is being looked at by VAR, and it is tight, but it does kind of look as if Rodrigo has just lent offside. Aronson then had a shot blocked by Mings amazingly, and then Rodrigo turned it into the net, but it does not count. It's still Villa 1, Leeds 0.
You only had to see Rodrigo's face when he turned round and saw that flag. He didn't challenge that much. He knew that he was close. He knew that he'd gone that little bit too early.
1-0 it remains. We had quite a long stoppage early in the half for an injury to Luca Dean. Villa have lost both Dean and Watkins to injury in this first half. Leeds don't want the half to end. They're on the up. Nonto bursts forward. Younger cross with another well-timed challenge. Throw into Leeds United. Mark Rocker will take it. Leaves it for Strout, 20 metres from the corner flag, left-hand side. Leeds United have real momentum here. What they don't have is an equaliser. They've done everything but score. Young clears his lines again. It's back to the wall for Aston Villa. They've been playing like the away side in this first half, really.
Do you know what? You've got to have incredible fitness levels. To play in this Leeds side, you have got to have a wonderful attitude and the fitness levels to go with it, because it's just a constant pressure from every Leeds player.
Buendia has the ball, halfway line, hooked down the touchline towards Danny Ings. Rare Aston Villa foray forward. Koch has shepherded out of play. Villa have a throw-in. About 15 metres from the corner flag. They're attacking the right-hand side. Brendan Aronson is limping at the moment. 1 or 2 walking wounded out there in Leeds colours, but Aston Villa have actually lost 2 players to injury in this first half. Young takes the throw in for Villa. Buendia trying to turn, can't get away from Strout, goes back to Cooper, long down the field towards the head of Rodrigo. One though by Conson. Mings plays it square. Moreno coming forward just inside the Leeds half. Good ball down the left hand side. Danny Ings spins, turns, tries to feed Moreno again. It wasn't the best of return passes, but it's bounced off a Leeds player for an Aston Villa throw in, 20 metres from the corner flag, left hand side. Alex Moreno will take it, waiting for some movement from his new teammates. Ings provides it back out to Moreno, can't control it. Ings had it back momentarily. Aronson tries to burst clear. In goes Camara with a challenge. No player on either side is allowed more than a second or two to settle in possession before another tackle comes steaming in. It really has had a cut-tie feel to it, the game. And the only mystery really is that we only had 1 goal, and it came so early in the piece from Aston Villa's Leon Bailey. Buendia halfway line can't shield the ball from Cooper. It's gone out of play for an Aston Villa throw-in on their right-hand side, and just inside the Leeds half of the field. There'll be 1 or 2 who are ready for a good sit down here at half-time, because they put a lot in.
Do you know what? It's such a great advert for the Premier League, honestly. It's just the levels that both teams have shown in terms of commitment and desire to win every single ball, to close down every single player. It's got to be commended. It makes for such a great spectacle, even though we haven't necessarily had lots and lots of unbelievable opportunities. We've had 1 or 2. Obviously that great save from Martinez and Moreno's clearance off the line. But everything about the half I've loved.
Leeds United have a free kick which their goalkeeper Ilan Meslier takes down the field towards Rodrigo. 1 in the air by Mings, recovered by Adams, early forward by Rocker, searching ball, Ayling trying to get there. Martinez comes right to the edge of his territory and gathers the ball. He treated his Instagram followers to a demonstration of his new guard dog's vigilance this week. Emi Martinez posted an extraordinary film of it, getting up close and personal with someone who'd wandered onto his driveway. Apparently it's a Belgian Malinois, as used by elite forces in combat zones, and comes in at 20k. Lead and muzzle extra. And frankly, you wouldn't want to pick an argument with it. I think there's a bit of a flare-up now between Buendia and Cooper. It really has been simmering, and maybe the referee is not far away from blowing the half-time whistle. Could do with giving this a timeout. Just got a bit steamy.
It doesn't take much to get Buendia fired up. He's that type of character. Saw it plenty at Carrow Road for Norwich. He sent off a couple of times. Cooper just sort of bundled him over. Buendia just couldn't help but have a little bite back.
Well, the dog certainly had a bite back, and the film I saw on Instagram, I think Emmy's Golden Glove trophy is probably safe for him to do what he wants with it at the moment. He's obviously entered a post-World Cup phase of trying not to draw any extra attention to himself. Here's Aronson on the ball for Leeds United, still coming forward, right-hand side, Ayling edge of the penalty area. Harrison now takes over, down by the dead ball line, trying to get into the penalty area. Good work again, good cover from Leeds United. Moreno is involved in that. Once more, got some help from Douglas Luiz. Rocker has it back for Leeds. They've been excellent up to a point, Leeds, they really have. They've kept the pressure on Aston Villa. Count themselves unfortunate to be behind at this stage. Bailey's early goal. Young has been excellent too. Plays it back to his goalkeeper. Martinez calmly forward to Camera. Equally calm. Just dummies and turns inside his penalty area. Then steers an excellent pass to Moreno. Over the halfway line. Just lays it off to Jacob Ramsey. Poked back into his own half. Under pressure. And in concert to Young. I think Villa mindful of just trying to get to the break, yes, with their lead intact. And there is the final whistle of a really compelling first half of Premier League football. We've only had one goal. We haven't had a million great saves. We've had one truly great save by Emi Martinez of Aston Villa. Leeds United have been denied by a goal line clearance by Alex Moreno on his Aston Villa debut. They've been denied by linesman's flag correctly. Rodrigo having a goal cancelled out. Jesse Marsh's very stern face as he walks down the near touchline towards the dressing room. In his heart, he'll be happy with an awful lot of what he's seen from his team, but he won't be happy with their conversion rate again, because they trail Aston Villa by a 1-0 at the break. Just run through the two sides at the start of this second half, reminding ourselves that Aston Villa lost both Luca Dean and Ollie Watkins to injury in the first half of the game. So Alex Moreno, signed just a couple of days ago from Real Betis, came on for a very early debut at left back, and Danny Ings has replaced Watkins in attack. They have Martinez in goal, the back four of Young, Konsa, Mings, and now Moreno, who's in possession 15 metres from the corner flag left-hand side, and there's a free kick in midfield. A four-man midfield has got Leon Bailey on the right-hand side, Jacob Ramsey back in the team on the left-hand side, Douglas Luiz and Boubacar Kamara at the centre, and now Danny Ings supported by Emi Buendia in attack. Leeds United with the 11 that started the game. Ila Melia, who's in possession at the moment, in goal. The back four is Ayling, Koch, Cooper and Strauch, Adams and Rocker in midfield, and then Harrison from the right, Nonto from the left, Aronson playing at number 10 just off Rodrigo. They haven't made a change as yet. They are attacking the Holt end of Villa Park, away to our right as we watch on from the main stand. The second half is a minute and a half old, and the only goal of the game scored down at that Holt end in just 2.5 minutes by Leon Bailey. Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. We're live on Talksport this evening. Leeds United trying to pick up where they left off on the attack. Ayling was almost in. Koch trying to dispossess Ings, who protected it well. Douglas Luiz plays it forward. Buendia immediately under pressure to Young. Out to the right-hand side. Bailey now inside the Leeds United half, but cutting infield and being forced back to Konsa. 15 metres inside his own half of the field. Plays a rolled pass into the path of Douglas Luiz. Out to that right-hand side where Buendia escapes Nonto. Played infield, but Adams is there. One back momentarily by Aston Villa, and now on the ball Ramsey. Mings now bursting forward. He's 15 metres outside the penalty area. He feeds Alex Moreno in a crossing position. Feeds it in low. Ings on the turn. His shot is blocked well by Rocker. He was on target from Danny Ings, but Mark Rocker side his defensive duties.
Much better though, wasn't it, from Aston Villa, playing through the midfield and then getting it out to Rocker as Mings slips.
Slipped by Mings, and Leeds are on the counter-attack, and Rodrigo's on the ball. Harrison just inside the penalty area. He's got options here. Jack Harrison tried to take it alone, hit by Aronson and hit over. Corner kick. It was A good challenge came in, I think, from Ashley Young, which deflected the ball over. Tyrone Mings is relieved. He was unlucky, he just lost his footing, and Leeds were away.
Yeah, he just slipped on the halfway line. Harrison didn't feel as if he had the option to play early, and in the end just thought, well, I'll try and take Konza on myself. It bobbled around a bit, actually fell fortunately for Aronson, and again Ashley Young did really well just to block the shot over the top.
Again and again, Ashley Young, he's been outstanding tonight. Made a goal line clearance from Harry Kane at 0-0 in that big win at Spurs on New Year's Day. He just instinctively sniffs out danger. Corner taken by Harrison and then taken by Martinez. Very well, actually, in a crowded penalty area. Good goalkeeping again by Emi Martinez, who's made the save of the match so far. And that's why Aston Villa still lead by 1-0. Talksport with Now Sports. With Now Sports, you can stream all the Sky Sports action, including this game, live tonight for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. Ball is back with Ilan Meslier, and plays it forward to Robin Koch down the right hand side, seeking out Luke Ayling. Across comes Ramsey to halt Leeds United's progress. They have a throw in right in front of the two managers on the halfway line, which Luke Ayling, who's come back into the team for the last 3 Premier League matches, having spent most of the season on the bench, will take. Waiting for movement, it comes from Jack Harrison. Play back to Ayling again, looking back towards Cooper. The ball only just reaches him under pressure from Bailey, but now Strout can venture forward into the Villa half of the field. He's got Gnonto at his shoulder. Gnonto edge of the penalty area, cuts onto his right foot. Hasn't really made an impact on the game tonight, Wilfred Gnonto. There's another poor cross charged down, and then he conceded a free kick for a nudge. It just hasn't happened for the young Italian international tonight.
He's just been a bit hesitant, hasn't he? He's stuttered a lot, you know, as if he wants to go past Ashley and then doesn't end up doing so and ends up being crowded out. Ashley Young's done well on that side, and Alex Moreno has started well on that left hand. So I'm glad to see him come out for the second half, to be honest. Imagine that being your first taste of English football, that half of football. He wouldn't have blamed him if he thought, do you know what, I'll head back.
He'll sleep well tonight, that's for sure. Free kick to Aston Villa, which they're taking their time over. Deep inside their own half of the field. Konsa forward, one in the air though by Liam Cooper, headed on by Rocker. Aronson can't lay claim to it. Konsa gives it away to Harrison, edge of the centre circle. Rocker's on the ball, left-footed down the touchline. Another chance for Gnonto to run at the right side of the Villa defence. Plays it to Strout, now out to Harrison. Tried to play it early, but didn't quite make the contact with it they wanted, and Leeds United, in their busyness to try to get it back, have conceded a free kick. Wilfred Gnonto is a new kid on the block. He only turned 19 in November, signed from Zurich in the summer, one for the future, but he started the last 6 now for Leeds United. He's been involved in the last 8 Italy internationals. He's only 5'8", but he's a ball of power and purpose. Runs at the ball, has a goal threat. Hasn't really materialised tonight. Moreno coming forward onto a good ball from Camara. And now Ramsey inside the penalty area. It's Moreno with a shot goalwards and forcing a save from Meslier. Is it not enough on your debut to make a goal line clearance? He wants to score now.
No, and that's what he'll be given licence to do so. I think it was Harrison on this right hand side that just fell asleep, allowed Moreno to run in behind, and then he just followed the pass, got himself in the box. Cheeky little finish as well he tried to make, just flicking it behind himself to try and get it into that far corner away from Meslier.
He looks about 5'9", pretty typical chunky fullback build, unshaven, but he's certainly not shown any nervousness about trying to force his way forward down the left flank since coming on. But Leeds have an opportunity here. Aronson suddenly has the ball. Gnonto inside the penalty area. Martinez makes another good save. Forces it away, pushes it away as he dives to his left. He was at a good height for Martinez. It was a good save rather than a great save. He made a great save in the first half. And he pushed it away, and Leeds were denied, but they're still coming forward with Aronson just outside the penalty area, trying to get past Ramsey. Digging in there Gets some help from Camera, played back to Mings. He can't clear his lines. Ayling gets his head to the ball. Cooper forces it forward. Ayling helps it on. Seemed to be clattered in the air there. Leeds United can't believe they're not getting a free kick for that. Michael Oliver has stopped play because Ayling has a head injury, but I don't think he's going to get a free kick.
No, I think he's got a point as well, Jesse Marsh. Luke Ayling wins the header and just gets barrelled into the back, but it was you're absolutely right, Clive. It was a good save from Martinez. It was a lovely head height for him just to dive to the left and make a good save, but it's that anticipation from Martinez. He saw as Nonto chopped onto his right foot, as did Bailey in that first half, and he spotted that it was going to that far corner. He just took that first step with his left foot to make the save.
Wilfred Nonto scored his first Leeds United goal against West Ham United last week. Denied there by the flying Emi Martinez, and it remains Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. We're live and exclusive here on Talksport this evening, as we will be tomorrow for the Manchester Derby. One of 3 live commentaries on Talksport tomorrow. Kick-off at Old Trafford is at 12:30. It's live and exclusive here on Talksport. Over on Talksport 2, you can hear every second of Rotherham United versus Blackburn Rovers at the same time, and that's followed by commentary of Everton versus Southampton from 2:30 tomorrow. All that to come tomorrow on game day. Here tonight, we're watching Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0, and we're watching Leeds come forward yet again with Rodrigo, but forward from an offside position this time, and he is flagged, and a free kick to Villa 20 metres inside our own half of the field. It is rocking tonight, Villa Park. There's a particularly good vibe about this match. The players have set an example out on the field, and the fans are responding. They know that they're getting their money's worth. Aston Villa only just in front. Leeds United have had more of the game, if the truth's told. Moreno just inside his own half. Forward to Ramsey. Moreno again. Well seen by Koch, who intercepts and thought he caught a late challenge, but gone out of play, and Villa get the throw in just inside their own half.
I can see Unai Emery just to the right hand side of us down there, constantly pointing. He wants more. You can tell he wants more from those midfield players to get on the ball, be braver with their play.
Terrific pass from Buendia. Chance for Bailey to attack the edge of the Leeds penalty area and go past Strouk and cut it back, and Buendia couldn't quite reach it. Douglas Luiz does, and it's just over. It was a measured shot from about 20 metres as it was cut back to him. Bailey's pace there embarrassed Pascal Strouk, and it was a side of goal for Aston Villa.
Well, Strouk naturally should be thinking he wants to come on his left, but then he's quick enough, Bailey, once he goes down the right-hand side, just to get ahead of Strouk and then look for that pass. It ricocheted out for Douglas Luiz, and he just tried to bend it into that near post top corner and was probably just a foot over the top.
Unai Emery didn't take kindly to last weekend's FA Cup exit. He said he was upset and sorry, and he can do upset, can Unai Emery. This is only his 8th game in charge, but he did have the World Cup break to get his fidgety feet under the table and get to find his way around the club. Not new to the Premier League. 18 months in charge of Arsenal, only 3 years away from England before returning in November to take charge of the club, and so far his return has been good. 10 points from 5 games and in front by a goal to nil here. But Leeds are coming forward again. Rocker to Nonto, attacking that right hand side of the Villa defence, finding Strouk on an overlapping run, and Mings had to come to the rescue there with Rodrigo finger on the trigger, waiting to pounce on Strouk's low cross, and it's a throw in to Leeds United about 10 metres from the corner flag that they're attacking on the left hand side. The tall Strouk will take it. Gazzavi would like to wind up a longish one towards the edge of the box, but he gets a run from Mark Rocker down by the corner flag, hooks across into the box. Conster's header just about gets the job done. Then Ramsey miskicks, and Tyler Adams is back on the ball for Leeds. Ayling midway through the Aston Villa half, curled in left-footed towards Nonto. Headed by Young is a little askew. Gets some help though from Moreno, who's getting better and better, but Ayling wins it back for Leeds United. Cooper now on the ball just inside the Villa half. Harrison running at Villa on the edge of the penalty area. Ball squirts up in the air off Moreno, and Villa clear their lines again. Cooper's underneath it, heads it forward. Camera with a studied ball forward. Down goes Ramsey under pressure from Ayling. Free kick to Aston Villa. And it's almost as if half-time didn't happen, because we've got the same game. Villa lead, Leeds are on top.
Yeah, Villa can't cope. Their players are just really struggling to cope with the tempo. The amount of times now they've just launched the ball into the sky as if that's going to give them the breather they need. Well, it's not.
They're coming forward again, though, with Moreno. Edge of the penalty area, Koch beats him to it. Ayling wins a challenge from Camera. Now Harrison over the halfway line. Forward towards Aronson, but it's Emi Buendia who catches up with him and wins the ball back for Aston Villa. And then Adams contests it with him on the touchline. Throw in given. Leeds take it quickly. Harrison, Rodrigo back to Aronson. Nudged to the ground by Douglas Luiz. Free kick to Leeds United. 15 metres inside the Aston Villa half of the field. I think it's getting quicker, this game. It really is a sensational watch. I mean, it's not Manchester United versus Manchester City. It's not Tottenham Arsenal, not in terms of the billing. Those games that have come this weekend, I suppose Aston Villa are just about mid-table. Leeds United are certainly in the relegation scrap. But it's a terrific game. And Leeds United have forced another corner on their right-hand side. In front of the Holt end. Taken quickly by Rodrigo to Jack Harrison. Harrison on the ball, tries to cross. Charged down again by Buendia, seeing out his defensive duties, and that's not something I've always said in commentary, but he's done really well on this occasion. And Bailey stretching his legs over the halfway line, runs through Koch, can't run through Adams, won the ball cleanly. Michael Oliver had a good view and saw nothing untoward. Aronson forward, Harrison trying to chase it, but forward to the edge of his penalty area comes Emi Martinez to grab it. Can we just have a little rest? Can we take a time out?
I don't know whether to come in or not. It's just, there's so much happening. I've got to say, Tyler Adams and Mark Rocha have been absolutely unbelievable in the middle of that midfield. The work rate is just astonishing from the two of them. And you don't want to pick anyone out from this Leeds side because they're all doing it, but they're outnumbered in there, and yet they look like they've got the extra player, the pair of them. And it's almost you lose Calvin Phillips and you think, how do we replace him? Well, Leeds haven't. It's almost the Moneyball type scenario where you get two players that can do what Calvin Phillips was producing. You've got Adams with that ridiculous energy.
And now gone. Aston Villa lead by a goal to nil. Rodrigo breaking from a Koch free kick into the penalty area, goes for goal himself. He had options, screwed his shot into the side netting, tried to hook it. Aston Villa were caught out there a little bit sleepy as Koch took a quick free kick and Rodrigo got behind them, but he didn't manage to benefit. Unai Emery is looking the more distraught coach at the moment, even though his team lead. Jesse Marsh has just signalled that he wants to make a change of some kind. He needs to change the scoreline somehow.
He is not happy, Unai Emery, is he? With Tyrone Mings and Emery Concert just totally switched off. Clever free kick over the top, great run from Rodrigo, and then he gets down that right hand side channel, cuts back inside, but just properly drags it wide of the near post.
Martinez picks out Moreno, shows too much of the ball to Ayling, who makes a challenge, and the ball squirts forward into the Villa half of the field, in fact all the way through to Emi Martinez. It's almost as if he's just trying to take some of the sting out of the game and quieten it down a little bit, but that's so difficult to do against Leeds United. Jesse Marsh just involved in a conversation with Cameron Toshak, the son of the great John Toshak, one of his coaching staff, as they look at the numbers and decide who's going to be replaced. Martinez plays it out to this left-hand side, just over the head of Harrison for Moreno, caught late by Ayling. Free kick to Aston Villa just inside their own half of the field. Luke Ayling just exchanging a few words with Unai Emery, which are not pleasant words. We can't actually hear what they are, but I can have a good guess. And it's a free kick for a rather vindictive challenge. Now Ashley Young's taking up the argument with Ayling. There's a bit of finger pointing going on.
I think it's done well, to be honest, not to.
We've had one yellow card.
Escalate into a little bit more. It's got that feel about it.
Well, we're going to see Patrick Bamford. We're going to see 2 Leeds United changes. We're going to see Max Verber also. But Bamford's the headline here because he hasn't played senior football since October the 29th. Played relatively little football since September of last season. But amongst his best memories from his best season 2 seasons ago was an outstanding second-half hat-trick here against Aston Villa in a 3-0 Leeds United win, and Bamford is about to return. Adams in with a sliding challenge on camera. Ball flies forward, Conser plays it back to Martinez. Still Aston Villa 1, Leeds United 0. Martinez rolled out to Conser on the edge of his own penalty area. Down the Villa right towards Bailey. Sidesteps 2 challenges. Dances in field, but runs straight into Tyler Adams. Aronson forward, on by Rodrigo. Adams inside the penalty area trying to recover it. But who tracked him back? Yes, Ashley Young. Wonderful cover again from the veteran Villa right back. He's been immense tonight. Douglas Luiz as Aston Villa come forward. Bailey with a good first touch, running at Strauch, edge of the penalty area. Leon Bailey, left foot, good save by Meslier, headed goals, and in! No, flags up, Buendia's goal is disallowed. Meslier kept out the first effort from Bailey, which was almost a carbon copy of his first half goal. Buendia followed in and headed in, but was flagged offside.
And again, Strauch, I'm sorry, you've got...
Oh, by the way, this is close.
This is very, very close, but Strauch has, again, you know Bailey wants to come on your left. If he goes down to the right-hand side and sticks it in the top corner, well, hang on, you might have to just say, well, fair enough. But I'm not going to allow him to get on into his left and take the shot.
This may well be a goal for Aston Villa, you know. They lead by a goal to 0 through Bailey early in the first half. Buendia's follow-up header there was ruled out by the assistant here in the stadium. But it's very, very tight, this, for VAR to make a judgment on. The man with his hand on the controls at Stockley Park is Andy Madley tonight. And the sign of the television means Aston Villa 2, Leeds United 0. Goal for Emi Buendia. Leeds United are pushed and pushed. There's a bit of a flare-up. Meslier is having some words with Ashley Young. It's all got a little bit out of control. But Aston Villa's excitement is because VAR says Buendia's goal stands, and it's 2-0.
He was clearly onside at the end, Emi Buendia, and he knew it. He wanted to go and celebrate, even though he knew that it would go to VAR, because he felt he was definitely onside, and he was. And it was good reactions. Meslier can feel hard done by. He almost makes a brilliant second save from Buendia's header, but he couldn't quite keep it out as it crawls over the line. And then the reason why Ashley Young was so annoyed was when that was announced, Meslier then tried to kick the ball back towards the halfway line and kicked it straight at Ashley Young, which is why he wasn't happy with the goalkeeper.
2-0 to Aston Villa, 2 changes for Leeds United. Off go Pascal Strauch and Jack Harrison, and onto the field come Max Verber, Austrian international, signed from Salzburg last week, and Patrick Bamford, Leeds United's mainstay supply of goals in their first season back in the Premier League 2 seasons ago. Has had rotten luck with injuries since then. He didn't miss a game in that first Premier League season, scored 17 times. He's been mainly a substitute when he has been fit this season, and he's missed a few chances. But he comes on tonight with 99 league goals to his name. And Max Verber is on at left back. Leeds United come forward with Nonto into the penalty area, cleared by Conser. 2-0 is the scoreline. Buendia, who scored a very good goal at Tottenham on New Year's Day in that victory, has headed Aston Villa's second on the counter-attack. And Leeds United were 2 down last weekend in an FA Cup tie that I saw down in South Wales against Cardiff City, and they managed to rescue a replay. They have been involved in some crazy seesaw matches already this season, and they have scored some vital late goals. They need 2 here now, because there's only a quarter of this match left to play. But you wouldn't write them out, would you, Dean Ashton?
Of course not. Not with their energy. It's not like they're going to let up at all, Leeds United. And now it looks like they've probably gone to a 4-4-2 with Bamford and Rodrigo right up there together as a pair. But you just have to look at the two goals. Both times you've allowed Leon Bailey to come onto his left foot and it's caused you the problems. It's simple defending, and if you get that wrong at this level, you will be punished. And that's the only thing that's been wrong with this Leeds performance, because everything else has been outstanding.
Yeah, the scoreline's harsh on them, there's no doubt about that. But Aston Villa have picked their moments and just preyed on lapses in concentration as much as anything by Leeds United. Leeds have scored 3 times on each of their last 3 visits to Villa Park. It's asking a lot, but there's a bit of history in that. They're defending at the moment. Yeah, Wöber's just slotted in at left back, where he has been playing mainly for Salzburg this season, played mainly at centre back last season. He is a player that Jesse Marsch knows very well. Marsch's 8th signing and the 4th that he's worked with before. But he's experienced international with Champions League experience too. Big mountain of a man, 6'2", and now playing at left back. But it's Villa on the attack with Bailey down by the corner flag, winning a throw-in for Aston Villa, which Ashley Young will take. He won a Fans Player of the Year poll recently here, Ashley Young. He is an extraordinary athlete, 37 years of age. It's hit here, first time by Douglas Luiz, an improvised volley from the edge of the penalty area, and it wasn't too far away. Came out of nothing.
Oh, it was saucy, wasn't it, from Douglas Luiz? Lovely little flick over the top on the edge of the box, and then left-footed volley high up. Just didn't quite get his angles right on off target.
Aston Villa 2, Leeds United 0. Live on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. There'll be smiles down at Buck House, Aston Villa's most famous fan, Prince William, the Prince of Wales, the not so neutral president of the FA, is claret and blue. Dean Ashton speaks to him on a daily basis. What's his excuse? Why is he not here tonight?
Couldn't get through.
I can't believe there's no mention of you in Prince Harry's book. I mean, the circles you move in, very, very disappointing. Villa 2, Leeds United 0. Leeds have a throw-in 10 metres inside their own half. And as you said, Dean, now they've got Aronson from the right, Nonto from the left, and Rodrigo and Bamford together up front. They will go for it. They've been going for it all night. Rocker stabbed back to Cooper, midway inside his own half of the field. Left-footed, looking for Nonto down that Leeds left. It's a really good ball, a good control too from Nonto. Isolated with Young. He can run at him, edge of the penalty area. Low cross in, then goes Aronson. Comes back out, hit first time by Wöber, right-footed, blocked. One back by Rocker, just outside the penalty area. Forced forward again, but away by Konsa. And Aston Villa can try to counter-attack with Bailey just inside his own half, trying to free Danny Ings. Play back to Ramsey. Really good counter-attack from Villa. Here comes Moreno inside the penalty area. Hit first time and into the side netting. Oh, wonderful stirring break from Aston Villa. They're under pressure there, under cosh. Couple of shots blocked on the edge of their own penalty area. And within 10 seconds, Alex Moreno is firing into the side netting at the other end.
Oh, dare I say, he almost thought, shall I burst from the halfway line? Alex Moreno, I bet he's feeling it already, to be honest. He did make that effort. The ball came across and he just looked a bit jaded, to be honest, with the finish. He didn't wrap his foot around it and cut right across it and into the side netting of this near post, but it was a great break, and that's going to be there for Aston Villa if they want it, because Leeds will be open.
Wonderful pacey DRS zone break from Aston Villa, and here they come again with Boubacar Kamara. Moreno is forward once more, 15 metres outside the penalty area. He's caught the eye tonight, no doubt about it, the debutant. Played back to Kamara. Chipped into Douglas Luiz, 10 metres outside the penalty area. Danny Ings is in, pokes it goal. Was really good stop by Meslier again. No flag. Good chance there for Ings, and a good reaction save from Meslier, who just reached out a left hand and beat down the shot.
He'll know that's a great chance, Danny Ings. He just could not quite get that first touch right. He had to use almost his hip to kind of control that, and he wanted to get it into a certain position, and it just miscontrolled. It meant he had to go with the outside of his foot, and that angle was narrowed.
But here come Leeds. Aronson edge of the penalty area. Another crashing challenge by Conser in the nick of time. Manages to prevent another dangerous Leeds United cross, and they only have a corner kick on the left hand side. In fact, it's a throw-in down by the corner flag, which Max Wöber, the other substitute, will take. Wöber winding up as if he has a long throw in his artillery here. He does have a long throw. It's a loopy one towards Bamford, tries to flick it on, and it came off Conser's head. Corner kick to Leeds United.
There's obviously something extra he can bring to this Leeds side if needed. Max Wöber.
He's a big broad-shouldered defender. He should be able to launch it. It's a bit loopy, that one. Sort of came as it came out of his fingers rather than his hands. But it's forced a corner kick on the left-hand side. Leeds United have brought just about everybody forward. Tyler Adams is guarding the edge of the penalty area. Into by Rodrigo. Flicked on by Koch. It hasn't been cleared. Now it has by Camera. And here comes another Villa break. And it's Bailey again in a leg race with Aronson and Adams. Held up well by Brendan Aronson. Didn't foul. He must have been tempted to make a tactical foul there, but he waited his moment, made a challenge, and in the end was fouled himself by Bailey.
They look dangerous, don't they? Every time Aston Villa break from a Leeds United set play, they look dangerous. And if he'd have just got his head up, Leon Bailey, Danny Ings was completely free. He just didn't want to wrap that swinging right foot of his.
A little more than 15 minutes still left to play. It remains Aston Villa 2, Leeds United 0. Goals from Bailey and Buendia. Adams on the ball for Leeds United. Nonto attacking down the left-hand side. Young's kept him at bay so far. Nonto cuts into the penalty area, gets away from Young this time, gets in a shot. It's blocked, and it's another corner kick to Leeds United on the left-hand side. Tyrone Mings, who was involved in that block, has gone down holding his foot. There are two Aston Villa players down inside the penalty area. I think Ashley Young is the other one. Mings looks as if he might need some treatment here. Leeds United are preparing further changes. They bring on another forward, would you believe? We're going to see Joe Gelhardt as well as Sam Greenwood. But Mings is back on his feet. The corner can be taken. Rodrigo it is, guided in left-footed, headed away by Tyrone Mings typically. Out as far as Rodrigo again. His cross isn't a particularly good one at the second time of asking, and Danny Ings heads comfortably clear, and Tyler Adams has to go all the way back to Ilan Meslier. Plays it left-footed, studded ball out to the right-hand touchline. Wöber, though, reaching, stretching, can only just keep it in with his head and then pursue the ball. Mings has it again, edge of the penalty area. Camera goes back to Emi Martinez. He whips it across the face of his penalty area to Conser, who drills it down the line towards Bailey. Good sliding challenge by Roca. Won it back for Nonto. Roca making some headway. Nonto forward. Rodrigo still on that left-hand touchline. Crossed in towards Bamford. He got to the ball first, but diverted it wide of the mark. It is a goal kick. Two Leeds United substitutes coming. Mark Roca, who's been really, really good, is going to come off. And so too is Brendan Aronson, and their replacements are Sam Greenwood and Joe Gelhardt. So Leeds United just got the three centre-forwards on the field now.
Yeah, I would expect Rodrigo just to change slightly. He will either, or will he? Maybe Gelhardt will go to the right-hand side, where Aronson was, and they'll keep Bamford and Rodrigo up the top. I just think this isn't quite over, you know. I think it's going to be important, Unai Emery's changes when he does make them, because I don't think this Villa side can just hang on. They look very, very tired in the way that they've been defending if Leeds can keep this pressure up.
Villa have the ball with Emi Martinez. Played out calmly by Conser, a little too calmly maybe, towards Mings, who wasn't so calm, and stuck his side 10 through it and thought, let's get rid of this. And it goes high down the field. Well, Leeds United win it back, but they've lost out to Ings, and he's headed into the path of Gelhardt, and it's forward by Ayling, and it's chested away by Mings. There have been so many outstanding performances tonight. Camera on the ball now has had a good game too. Forward towards Buendia, just inside the Leeds United half of the field. Gets his head up, looks for support. It comes from Jacob Ramsey. Back to Buendia again, under pressure from Rodrigo, who catches him. Aston Villa 2, Leeds United 0. The latest odds are available from Ladbrokes, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage. At this moment, an Aston Villa victory is 66-1 on. Leeds United 125-1, and the draw is 20-1. Those odds are from Ladbrokes. You can play at ladbrokes.com. You must be 18 or over, and do be aware of begambleaware.org. Ball is with Ezri Konsa as the game takes a short lull. Maybe just a chance for everybody to catch their breath and consider what's still to come. And what's to come is a burst forward by Ramsey. Out to the left-hand side of Moreno. Aston Villa on the attack. Moreno's cross is a good one. Headed away by Cooper. Chance again for Bailey. Crashing, blocking challenge from Liam Cooper. The personification of putting your body on the line and getting Leeds United moving forward again. Tyler Adams breaking down the left-hand side. Falls to the ground under pressure from a challenge from Douglas Luiz. Throw into Leeds United just inside the Villa half of the field, and great credit to Michael Oliver, who's given this game every chance tonight. Set the tone really by letting some full-blooded but fair challenges go. Hasn't got panicky at any stage, only made a couple of bookings so far, and he's been part of the entertainment.
I reckon he's loved it. I bet he's loved this game, Michael Oliver, and he's allowed it to be as good as it has because of that.
Aston Villa are making a couple of changes. We're going to see Philippe Coutinho and Morgan Sanson, who's just in the last 24 hours been told he can leave Aston Villa. He played just over 65 minutes and actually scored against Stevenage in the FA Cup tie last weekend. It was only his second appearance in the last 9 months. Looks like he's set to leave on loan at least to Montpellier, and maybe Philippe Coutinho is another one whose long-term future here is certainly in some doubt, and he's about to come on too. But Aston Villa just need a refuel as much as anything. They need to top up their energy levels just to live with Leeds United. Even though they lead by 2-0, Leeds United have had at least as much of the game, if not more. Moreno's coming forward down the left-hand side again for Villa. Passes with the Ramsey are a little bit too short and tight. Buendia with a foul on Rodrigo as he wins the ball back. And a free kick to Leeds United. Here come the Aston Villa changes. Emi Buendia will go off to be replaced by Philippe Coutinho. Those two rarely on the field together. And Jacob Ramsey has had the best part of 2 months out with a hamstring problem. He's going to get a rest. And Morgan Sanson, a French midfield player, will come on in his place. And I just think it's fresh legs, isn't it?
Fresh legs, but also players that can keep the ball. I think it's going to be so important now that Villa try and keep the ball themselves as much as possible, just to take the sting out of the game and Leeds United, and just give themselves a breather, let the defence just get the shape back.
And that shape is still 4-4-2, but Bailey's moved forward one in support of Ings, and Sanson's on the right and Coutinho's on the left of the midfield four. Leeds United have the ball. Aston Villa have a 2-0 lead. Verma back to Cooper and all the way back to Ilan Meslier in the Leeds United goal. Played out to Koch. Forward to Rodrigo, now playing in that slightly wider role. Gelhardt is down the middle with Bamford. Rodrigo's playing from the right, Gnonto from the left. But it is very much 4-2-4 now for Leeds United. Rodrigo hooked out towards Gnonto on the far side. Just ease Young on the ball, no foul. And Gnonto can run free. Edge of the penalty area. Wilfred Gnonto into the box. Met by Solson. Still Gnonto goes on. Chance for Bamford, 2-1. Patrick Bamford has pulled one back for Leeds United. A landmark goal, the 100th goal of his league career. Very little celebration for a man who's been stuck on 99 for over a year, stuck on the treatment table for a lot of that. The goal will be checked because Wilfried Gnonto did just ease Ashley Young on the ball in the build-up. He wasn't penalised by Michael Oliver at the time. What will VAR say about that, Dean Ashton?
Very difficult. I think very, very difficult. I think it's very subjective because Gnonto just wants to hold his position and let the ball go over the top of his head. Ashley Young wants to go and try and head it. Well, you can't just come through Gnonto. I actually think there's nothing wrong with that. Gnonto just sees the fly of the ball and wants to stay there. He then does brilliantly.
Goal stands 2-1. 100th goal of Patrick Bamford's league career. His last was a 95th minute equaliser against Brentford at Ellen Road, December last season. And Leeds United are looking for another late equaliser from somebody. But Bamford's return to action has been marked typically with a goal. The 100 league goals for 4 different clubs in 3 different divisions. The first of the 100 was in League One for MK Dons at Crewe nearly 10 years ago. It is his 6th goal against Aston Villa for Middlesbrough and Leeds United, and it's good to see the name of Bamford back on the scoreboard. And Leeds United are right back in this. There are 6 minutes left on the watch, but there will of course be some added time. Enough time for Leeds United still to rescue something from a game that they've been a part of all night long. Gelhardt trying to get forward down the right-hand side, caught by Moreno. Free kick. Jesse Marsh actually comes on the field to congratulate Gelhardt for winning the free kick. Everybody's involved here.
Well, this is when it tests you as a player. Fatigue must... Oh, what a bad pass that was.
Terrible pass given straight to Bailey, who races forward. Terrific challenge by Liam Cooper. Sanson tries to keep it alive. Cock heads it away. And Leeds United are back on the ball with Tyler Adams. Bamford just checks inside. Looks for a yellow shirt. Goes back to Liam Cooper. Square to Robin Cock. Driven forward towards Ailing. It's not a good one. Coutinho saw the goalkeeper off his line, tried to chip him from all of 45 metres, but just lifted it over the crossbar.
Well, if anyone could, Coutinho could, but he was a fraction off. It was difficult because Meslier had seen it, so he'd got himself back. He would have had to have been accurate and firm with it. As Rodrigo sprays another one, Leeds tempo, it just doesn't stop. The fatigue must be setting in for the Aston Villa defenders.
Adams, driven forward towards Gelhardt. Goalkeeper comes to the edge of his territory again and takes charge of the situation. Amy Martinez, another of the outstanding performers in what has been a truly outstanding Premier League game. 5 minutes left to play. I could watch another 55 minutes of this. It's been great.
Yeah, it's been absolutely fantastic. Forgot to say, Bamford finish was so crisp, wasn't it? Played back by Gnonto, missed by Rodrigo, and Bamford was there just coolly, side foot crisp into the corner like he'd never been away.
He's always known where the goal is, as those numbers suggest. 100 league goals, that's 69 now with his left foot, 14 with his right, 17 with his head. 90 of those scored inside the box and only 10 outside. 100 league goals for 4 different clubs, and the first for over a year. I think I'm right in saying he actually got injured celebrating that goal against Brentford last season. I mean, that just about sums up Patrick Bamford. Eye for goal, injury prone. But he's back out there and he's made a mark on this game, and Leeds United are still in this game. Verba drives it forward, cut out by Contra under pressure from Bamford, who fouls him. Free kick to Aston Villa, 10 metres inside their own half of the field. In the Scottish Premiership tonight, Heart of Midlothian have beaten St Mirren by 1-0 at Tynecastle. Still to come on Talksport this weekend, plenty. The Manchester Derby, one of 3 live commentaries on Talksport tomorrow. We're on air live from Old Trafford at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Do join us for live and exclusive commentary of Manchester United versus Manchester City here on Talksport. Still Aston Villa 2, Leeds United 1. 3 minutes left on the watch plus added time. Another Leeds change coming up. Junior Firpo, who actually was involved in their late equaliser at Cardiff last weekend, is coming on in place of Robin Koch, who's moving a little gingerly as if he's picked up an injury of some description. Verbal will move into the heart of the defence alongside Cooper, and Firpo will play at left back. He hasn't seen a lot of football, but he grew into that game last weekend. He forced a penalty, actually, forced a handball with a burst forward, and then with a clever little flick played in the youngster Sonny Perkins to equalise against Cardiff City and earn a replay for Leeds United next week at Ellen Road. Adams trying to keep the ball alive before Ayling has given it away to Coutinho, edge of the Leeds United penalty area. Played back to Moreno. Exchanges passes with Phil Coutinho. Goes square to Douglas Luiz. Back out to Moreno on the left-hand side. Villa just trying to run down the clock with the ball. And Mings all the way back to Emi Martinez now inside the D. Martinez drives it long down the field. It's one for Coutinho to chase. It's going to be met by Ilan Meslier very alertly, but his control wasn't very good. And then a rather sprawling, clumsy challenge brings Coutinho down. The yellow card for Ilan Meslier is shown to him, what is he, 35 metres outside of his penalty area to make that foul.
I mean, he's read the situation and the ball over the top, but his touch was awful, and then it was like a giraffe trying to tackle Coutinho. His leg went over the top of Coutinho's head. He misses the ball and whacks Coutinho in the side of the head, and rightly deserves his yellow card.
And then, as players do in those situations, stands over Coutinho and motions to him to get to his feet. They've only kicked you on the head. What's wrong with you, man? Quickly taken, Alex Moreno. That's a really tempting cross to the far post. Firpo dealt with it very well. And Nonto can try to accelerate down the Leeds left-hand side. Cutting in field now, Nonto pushed to the ground by Douglas Luiz, but no foul. Villa on the ball with Coutinho inside the centre circle. Sidestepping one way and then the other. Finds a very astute pass out to Moreno on the left-hand side. And for all we said about Alex Moreno, he's still put a running. Finds a nice pass now to Camara. Drilled out to the right-hand side. Leeds have exposed here because they've thrown a lot of players forward, but Sanson miscontrols. Then Nonto miscontrols. Right a challenge from Young on the halfway line. Ashley Young wins it back momentarily. Leeds United have the throw-in, left-hand side. Taken quickly to Greenwood. Under pressure though from Douglas Luiz. Sam Greenwood has lost it. Forward come Aston Villa. Douglas Luiz can't link up with Bailey. Cut out by Cooper. Ayling now. Still 2-1 to Aston Villa. We're in stoppage time. We're going to be 6 added minutes. 6 minutes for Leeds United to complete another comeback. 2 down last weekend at Cardiff. They made it 2-2. 2 down again here tonight. To goals from Bailey and Buendia through Patrick Bamford. They've halved that deficit and it's 2-1. Bamford exchanging passes with Gelhardt. Camara coming between them. Very calm Camara. Aston Villa's win percentage with him in the team is considerably, significantly better than when he's been missing from the team. He's quite a fine Boubacar Camara. Adams though on the ball for Leeds. Junior Firpo just inside his own half. Has to play it forward. Bamford will pursue it, but then Emi Martinez to the edge of his penalty area is able to gather it. And as goalkeepers do in that situation, for no reason, and with no kind of penalty, just fall to the ground. When did that become okay?
That was all. It was always okay. Yeah, it's very frustrating. But in that situation, another rule that players have to adhere to when you're trying to chase a game is you can't play a straight ball over the top and allow it to go to the goalkeeper. It has to go wide and fall into the channels.
And Martinez has been around the block a time or two and has taken his time over this free kick, which has been awarded for offside. He's now going to be shown a yellow card for time wasting. That's both goalkeepers booked in the last couple of minutes. Emi Martinez, he's in trouble again. And it's a free kick which he will eventually take long down the field towards the head of Leon Bailey. One in the air and one in the air well by Liam Cooper. Sanson, tumble though by Greenwood. It's a cheap free kick to give away at a bad time for Leeds United, who trail by 2-1. Just what Villa need this. Another opportunity to see away a few seconds. Douglas Luiz is trying to spin the ball forward and take it from beyond the point where it should be taken. Looking as innocent as he can possibly look before taking a few steps back. Preparing to guide the ball into the penalty area. It's curled into the box. It was headed by Firpo against Ings. I'm surprised he did play the ball into the box. I think he'd be better advised just to try to keep possession, maybe go back rather than forward. Instead he's given it to Leeds, and Verba almost gave it to Bailey, but Leeds have managed to rescue it, and Tyler Adams surges forward over the halfway line. Played just behind Wilfried Gnonto, but he gathers it in on towards Junior Firpo. Young across with another crucial challenge for Aston Villa. What a game he's had, Ashley Young. Firpo takes the throw in. Sam Greenwood back out to Gnonto, crossing position, left hand side, edge of the penalty area. Tried to look for Gelhardt instead. His pass was misplaced. Down goes Gnonto under pressure from Young. Free kick. Only about 5 paces outside the penalty area, left hand side. Free kick in a dangerous position for Leeds.
Oh, he has been excellent, Young, but Gnonto has just been constant. He's probably only got the better of him a couple of times, though. I mean, he really has stuck to that task, Ashley Young.
Last week at Cardiff, Gnonto limped off with about 5 minutes to go. Looked like the end of him. 5 minutes later, he was setting up the equalising goal. He is the eternal runner, Wilfried Gnonto. Free kick taken, whipped in by Greenwood into the penalty area. Cooper was there with a header. There are half-hearted appeals for handball. No, it's a corner kick to Leeds United. Still pressure. Sam Greenwood will take it. Left-hand side. Leeds have got just about everybody but Meslier forward. This might just be the game right here. Holt End at Villa Park. 2-1 Aston Villa lead. Sam Greenwood curled into the box towards Cooper, couldn't get to it. Had a bit of a swing at it, caught an Aston Villa player instead. Free kick given to Villa. Relief for Aston Villa. That might just be the 3 points.
They're celebrating like it is on the bench, the Aston Villa bench. Camera it was with the header away, and Cooper knew that his foot was high. Brilliant delivery from Greenwood, by the way. That's what he does bring to this Leeds side.
Could be 13 points from 6 games for Unai Emery. Leeds United, Aston Villa started the evening in 11th. Their position won't improve, but their points tally will move from 22 to 25, which is healthy considering how many teams there are below them. They'll be level with Chelsea in the table, and Leeds United will remain stuck on 17 and waiting for all those big 6-pointers tomorrow to resolve themselves. There's some really vital games down in the lower half of the Premier League table tomorrow. Everton, Southampton, Forest, Leicester, Wolves, West Ham. Everton, Southampton, incidentally, is live on Talksport 2 tomorrow afternoon, the commentary game from 3 o'clock. Leeds United haven't given this one up yet, but their away record this season remains awful. Just 5 points gathered on the road. They've given another good performance here tonight, but it looks like it's going to be in vain. Verba hooks it forward for them. Moreno tries to hook it away and slices it. Young doesn't, gets it up to the halfway line. Cooper, high forward for somebody to chase, but Conce's head is underneath it. Cooper wins it again, headed on by Gelhardt, brought down by Bamford. Offside. Free kick to Aston Villa just outside their own penalty area.
And another rule that you cannot get wrong. You can't be offside because you're lazy and not getting back onside. Just gives the time to the opposition. I should make a book about it, to be honest. There's so many things that you cannot do when you're chasing a game, and it happens so often.
This might just be the last kick of the afternoon, of the evening I should say. It will be Emi Martinez with a free kick from the edge of his own penalty area. Aston Villa are almost there. Martinez goes long, out towards the left-hand touchline, and the head of Danny Ings. He knocks it forward out of play for a Leeds United throw-in. Ayling and Coutinho clash on the near side as Ayling tries to get to the ball in order to take it quickly. Ayling's throw-in is down the touchline towards the head of Gelhardt, turns it on. Douglas Luiz turns it away. Adams jumps for the ball. Coutinho jumps for the ball. Hooked forward by Greenwood. One for Bamford to chase. It's come back to Ayling and he can't control it. Thrown out of play. Added time to the added time now. Aston Villa have a throw-in inside their own half, and Aston Villa have the 2-1 lead, and Aston Villa seem to have the points. Throw-in which Alex Moreno, what an introduction, what a baptism to English football he's had this evening. He's throwing down the touchline. Here's the last action of another victory for Unai Emery and Aston Villa. An absolutely pulsating game, one that neither team deserved to lose, one that both teams will probably feel as if they did enough to win. Leeds United will look back on some crucial moments. A goal line clearance by Moreno, a fabulous save by Emi Martinez. Overall, I think the stats will suggest that Leeds United were slightly the dominant side in terms of territory and pressure, but they conceded in 2.5 minutes unnecessarily. Leon Bailey invited to go onto his favourite left foot and score. More importantly, they conceded the second goal of the game, headed in with some help from VAR by Andy Buendia after another Bailey blast had been saved. Patrick Bamford, so good to see him back in Leeds colours, managed to halve the deficit with a typically coolly taken opportunist goal. But for all Leeds United's frantic efforts to retrieve something from the night, they will head back to Yorkshire empty-handed yet again. It is finished here at Villa Park. Aston Villa 2, Leeds United 1. Thank you for the entertainment.